Welcome, everyone. We're getting set up for our Women Leaders of Love Own Your Worth Wednesdays. Let me get the recording going. I'm letting a few people jump in. Hello, Facebook, those of you who are on Facebook, we're so glad you're here. We also have a Zoom portion of this call. So I'll tell you about that in just a second. Let me get the recording going. So welcome to our Women Leaders of Love Own Your Worth Wednesdays. I hope it's a beautiful day where you are. It's gorgeous here as I look out on the North Georgia mountains, and such a beautiful, glorious day to be here and be together. So these calls, as you know, are about really helping you raise your vibration to a space of allowing goodness to show up in your lives, because so often we don't allow the goodness in. It's there, it's all around us. The universe is abundant, but more often than not, we shut it off. We don't even realize we're doing it. I don't know, I've been a master at that in my lifetime, where I will just find myself going into resistance, putting my hands across my chest and being a little bit stubborn in my energy. Can anybody relate? And so we resist, right? We resist the love that is there. So our whole purpose in this Own Your Worth Wednesday is to help you step into your life purpose as a woman leader of love, but as you own your worth. So as you say yes to loving yourself and letting love in, okay, that's what we're doing, is letting love in, that you become that expression for others, so that you'll be loving to them as well, and they'll get to watch you and learn, right? I know that I've been watching that a lot lately, as I see a ton of people going through shifts right now. It is interesting to watch all the shifts that are happening, and to watch when I become intertwined in their shift and realizing, wait, this is not mine, this is theirs, and then having to stay in neutrality. So it's about allowing love in through those processes and allowing yourself not to shut down, really being an awareness of not shutting down. Let me see, I think we just lost somebody that was jumping in here. So today I'm going to do this. Here's Jane. Hey, Jane, I think I just saw you pop in. We're so glad you're here. We have Jan, Tammy, and Jane, and we did have Jennifer a few minutes ago. I don't know where she went. People are popping in on the Zoom portion of this call. If you're on Facebook and you want to be a part of the actual Zoom portion, just go to terribritt.com/leaders, and you can get my free worthiness quotient breakthrough bundle, totally free. You'll get my ebook on what it means to be a woman leader of love, and you'll get some guided meditations, tips and tools on how to really step into your greatest calling, which when you see it, you're going to love it, because it means you're breaking the good girl rules. So when you do that, when you get that bundle, it's again free. The next week you'll be given the link to get into the Zoom portion, because as you're going to see in the Zoom portion, this is where you get to ask questions. If you're on Facebook, if you're somewhere else and you're watching this, then by all means ask your questions in the comments, and I will check those out afterwards and answer everything that I can. But for right now, as far as live, the Zoom portion is it. So it looks like some people are having a hard time getting on. I see them coming in and then they're falling off, and they're coming in and they're falling off. So normally what I do in these calls, let me make sure I did turn on the recording. Yes, I did. So normally what I do in these calls is I'll start with a conversation and a meditation, and then open up for questions and healing. And it hit me today that I want to try something a little different, and it's going to be up to you guys on how this works, okay? It's up to you. So I feel really strongly that I could serve you more by taking questions that are pertinent to your life. So we'll do a grounding meditation, clear out the energy so we can get fully here. And then take questions of, maybe you want some support. Maybe you want me to look at your energy. Maybe you just need some coaching. Maybe you want to celebrate an aha, whatever it is, right? But I want this to be more about what you need rather than what I think you need, because a lot of times, and we're just going to try this today, okay? A lot of times I see that people, when they do the meditation, they want to ask questions particularly about that. They'll have, oh, that was a great meditation, but then they have questions pertinent to their own lives. So I want to offer that for today and see if it works, see what happens, see if you guys have any questions you want to ask. And you have to be courageous here, okay? Because if you're holding it in and you're not saying what you want to say, then you're not going to get the shift that you want. You're not going to get the support that you want. And being courageous gives you that opening. You're saying, yeah, I can be loved, I can be honest, I can be vulnerable and receive all kinds of love and support. And that's the whole point of why we're doing this, right? So hi Cindy, we're glad to see you here. So people are trickling in. Here's someone else. So we're going to take a moment and as I said, for those of you who are just jumping in, we're going to do it a little differently today. We are going to do a grounding meditation, but I'm just going to open up for your questions and we're going to see what happens. This is a test. This is a test from your spiritual system here. And to see if what works. Okay, I really want to support you guys in a way that you need, and I just feel called to try this today. We'll have fun. We'll be on an adventure, right? All righty. So, hey, I see somebody just turned on their camera. Please feel free to turn on your cameras. We want to see your beautiful faces. And if you don't want to, that's quite all right too. So we're going to take a moment to get grounded, just run some energy and allow ourselves to be fully present. And I'm going to have a topic though, even though we're not going to do like a full-blown healing meditation on it because I want to spend more time with you guys. I do want us to have a topic on the meditation. And today's topic is, are you beating to your own drummer? Okay. I think it was last week, or it may have been in one of my private coaching sessions, I can't remember, that it came up about being a black sheep. And when I meditated on being a black sheep, because so often when we're different than everyone else, we feel like we're the black sheep of the family. And there's this negative connotation to like, oh, you're the black sheep, you're the bad one. Well, I felt that way for years until I meditated on it. And I had this legal pad, and all of a sudden this message comes through and it says the black sheep is someone who beats to their own drummer, who has a voice, who expresses themselves, who just does their thing. I mean, I can't remember, it was years ago. But when I got done with it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'll be a black sheep any day because this is me. This means I'm honoring my uniqueness. This is me being me. So I actually started celebrating and helping people see that when they call themselves the black sheep, they're putting this negativity on it. And anytime we put a label as negative on us, then we come from a space of guilt or shame. And in that vibration, we attract things to us that are hard. Okay. So we don't want to do that. We want to get rid of those negative labels. And sometimes it means just seeing a totally opposite label. But at other times, it means giving it a new definition. If you have a label that feels negative, then turn it around and say, oh, that's not negative at all. That's a really positive thing, like the black sheep. That is a really cool, positive thing. So that's what I want us to just focus on in this meditation. Again, I'm going to take you into meditation. We're going to get grounded and we're going to come with the sense of beating to your own drummer. As we're just getting grounded, see if anything, comes up for you. Is there a flash, a picture where it says, oh, I'm not being in, my own drum, or I'm not beating my own drum here. This is where I'm getting caught in maybe codependency or dysfunction. So let that come up. And then when we open up for questions, see what comes up for you, and you can ask your question and get some help with this. Okay. All righty. If you guys are ready, let's see if we have anybody else to let in. I'm so excited all of you are here so far. If you're ready, let's do this. Okay. So I want to invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, hold it, and release. Take another deep breath, hold it, and release. We're going to start by running earth energy today, where we bring the energy of the earth up into our feet to really get ourselves grounded. So I want you to imagine this beautiful green healing energy coming into the balls of your feet, allowing that energy to move into your feet, into your ankles, up your legs, and swirling around your hips. Feel yourself sinking into this. And now allow that earth energy that's coming up from the ground into your feet, up through your legs, coming into your hips, and now move into your torso. And as it's coming up, I want you to imagine that it's coming up either side of your spine. Let this energy flood all the way up. You can let it go into your shoulders, down your arms, out your hands, allowing that energy to flood out of the top of your head, washing your aura, that energy field around you. And then letting everything dump back down on the outer edges. Like if you saw this light coming up, then on the outer edges of the light coming up, you see whatever needs to flush out going down. And as you're running that earth energy, now we're going to bring in the light of uniqueness, the light of dancing to your own drum. We're coming into the crown of your head. And as it comes down, you're going to feel it going down into your shoulders and then on either side of your spine. As it gets to your hips, you're going to feel it swirling with the earth energy. So you're getting aligned with earth and with the universe. And then as it gets all mixed up in there in the hips, you're now going to shoot it back up the spine. Allow this energy now to move up the spine. It's clearing all of the stuck cobwebs in your body, coming up and letting it go down your arms, out the top of your head. And also where it's coming and mixing in the hips, it's now going to go back down your legs. So it's coming up the middle of the legs and coming down on the outer edges of the legs. So it's go up and down, up and down. So we're combining these energies of the earth and the universe. This will get you really into your body. And then feeling that energy flooding into your aura all the way around you, this cosmic and earth energy together, and then sending everything down the outer edges. Where it's coming up, sending it down on the outer edges. Breathing into this for a few minutes. I like to use this energy to really get into my body. You can even wiggle your toes. You can touch your legs, maybe even rub your arms. This is a great way to get into your physical being. There's so much stuff going on the planet right now, and there's a tendency to want to leave our bodies. So this is a great way to get into your body. So breathing into this. And you only want to let this earth energy run for like a minute or so. So now we're just going to drop the earth energy, let it go back down to the center of the earth. And we're going to allow the normal energy that we bring in through the crown, through our heads, into our necks, into our shoulders, down our arms, out our hands, down through our body, all the way down our legs and out our feet. We're going to allow that to run and then fill up our auras and then dump anything down that you're not wanting to hold on to anymore. So as we've gotten grounded, I want you to just now go into that energy of dancing or drumming your own drum, dancing to your own beat. I want you to feel the energy of dancing to your own beat. If you're not following any other person's rhythm, you're doing your own thing. You're dancing through life on your own. And as you're doing this, I want to invite you to call in your inner child. So she's there with you. And if you have guides that you're working with, you can invite them around you. And as you're doing this, I want you to just allow yourself to feel this, the feeling of freedom, doing your own thing, dancing and thriving. And if anything is coming up for you, like if you're getting flashes of, oh, I'm not doing that. This is where I'm not doing that. I want you to just be in awareness of that. Be in awareness. And then let it go. Just say hello to it. Breathing into this. And then pay attention to any thoughts you have. Remember, we're doing this a little differently today. It's more about what questions do you have that you want to ask? Is it about dancing to your own drummer? Is it about something else that's in your life? So you might see your inner child and ask, what do you want to ask Terri today? Or you might see a guide and say, is there something that I can get her support on? And I want you to take that moment right now, because remembering that as you do that, you are dancing to your own drummer. You are doing your thing. You are being unique as you seek support for yourself. So I want you to just give yourself permission to go into that. And if you need to take a moment to write down your question, feel free to do that. Breathing into this. And then the final thing we're going to do is we're just going to set an intention that by the end of this call, you will have received some information, whether it's through your own question or someone else, that is going to support you in not only owning your worth, but also dancing to your own beat. I want you to feel that. Feel, yes, 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 I received this amazing information, this amazing healing, and I'm so, so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Breathing through this, feeling that energy moving through your body and your aura, releasing the day, releasing everyone else's energy. And then when you're ready, you can come back into this space. So hopefully you're feeling fully grounded right now. So for those of you who missed the opening of this conversation, I said I wanted to try this a little differently this week. So by not doing a full-blown heavy-duty meditation, I wanted to open up more time to have people to raise hands, and Tammy's raising her hand. So Tammy, just let me explain to them what we're doing. So there, you're in your car again, girl. And so this is a time for you to ask questions, because I really want to give you guys more time, whether it has anything to do with just the topic of, beating to your own drummer or whatever. That was just a grounding meditation. This is about you being able to ask questions, to get healing, to get coaching, for me to look at anything intuitively you need some support on. So this is your time. We're doing it a little differently because I wanted to see how it would support you better. So Tammy, if you will unmute yourself, that would be great. There you are.
There we go.
You're in your car again.
I am. Let's see. I think it's a generational, generational issue as far as being niceness and not speaking up. I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Yes. I heard that thing about niceness.
Okay. So kind of generational people pleasing, and I've been working on it and making a little progress, but
Tammy, you went away. Uh-oh, I think she dropped off. Let's see if she comes back on. Boy, that people pleasing thing is a big one. And I'm actually creating a talk right now about the family generational aspect of it, of being the people pleaser. So hopefully she can get back on, and then we'll go from there, because I don't know how many of you have felt that way, that you just feel like it's in my family and I just have to keep pleasing and keep pleasing and keep pleasing and keep pleasing. Tammy, if you are back on, I can't see everybody who's on here. She's not on yet. If you are back on, please raise your hand again and we'll get you back on. But being that people pleaser, it really does go back, and I hesitate to say too much so she won't miss out, but it really does go back to that correlation of we it's like our families say, people pleasing and denying myself equals love. And that's not love. It shuts us down to receiving. It shuts us down to abundance. And so it's never the loving thing to do, but I want to help her if she can get back on. Oh, there you are.
I'm back.
Okay, good. So I heard you say it was you felt like it was a generational thing, listen to me, a thing of being a people pleaser. Am I correct? Is that what you said?
Yes, that's correct. And so I almost feel like there has been a danger, like it's felt danger to use my voice to speak up. And so it's not okay to hurt other people's feelings, and I'm learning to do it a little bit differently, but you know, I think probably my spouse is kind of, you know, I've been a little.
Oh, she went away again. Oh no, she must be in a bad spot. So I totally understand what she's talking about afraid to speak up again. We'll give her another second. And I just saw on here, somebody else was asking how to raise your hand. Cindy, I see how you're asking that. So while we're waiting on, oh, Tammy's back. So you raise your hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so just so you know, Cindy, I see you, but you raise your hand. There's a little thing on the bottom. It says reactions. I think it's a little face, and you click it, and then it gives you an option to raise your hand, and then I will call on you. So Tammy, go ahead. So with your husband, what's happening?
So I have learned to be a doormat for fear of anger and hurting somebody's feelings by speaking up. And so I think you know, I'd love to have that figured out so that I can stop feel like I'm harming someone else because I'm harming myself.
So yes, you are harming yourself when you don't speak up. I mean, especially when it does, sometimes it just comes out right. And you're holding it in, and then you get angry, and that is really not loving. So I don't know if you can relate to that, but that was my MO for years. So what
I more just stuff it.
You just stuff it, which creates illness, girl. You do not want to do that. Your family needs you to be healthy and strong, and you do not need to be stuffing your emotions.
Yes, I've done the illness route.
Okay, so you know, right? Do you have kids at home? Was that a yes?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
yes.
So I want you to think about this. Will you do an exercise with me?
Sure.
Okay, and anyone else who has this issue, did she go away again? I think she went away again. So anyone else who has this issue about I feel like I'm a doormat, and if I say something, they're going to be angry. You can do this meditation with us. This is how this works when I'm leading someone through a personal coaching, that you can utilize it for yourself. So you can have a whole bunch of different little healings going on here. So Tammy, are you back? I think I see your head. Unmute yourself. Are you there?
I am here.
Is that Tammy?
Yeah, it sure is.
It shows me that you're muted. How weird. Okay,
look.
So is it?
I'm unmuted.
Okay, that is so weird. It's showing that you're muted. Okay, so are you finding a signal there?
So can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Okay, so hopefully we can hold there for a second. So Tammy, a lot of times when we're afraid of hurting someone, it's because we don't want to be blamed, right? And if we're blamed, then they're going to yell at us. We're going to feel bad. You know, there's so many things that go on. I mean, I've been doing a lot of work around this on myself as well. It's like, okay, if you yell at me, then it's like, I don't deserve forgiveness. Why don't I deserve forgiveness? Well, that's the belief I took on. Okay. So that was why I was afraid to speak my voice for a long time. I was afraid you'd yell back at me, and because you didn't forgive me. So
mine is, if you're angry at me, then I'm a bad girl.
Exactly. Same thing. Okay. So you're not forgiving me. I'm bad and I'm the problem. I'm the one who's causing your pain. So let's take a moment and do a little meditation here. And again, anybody who's with us, you can do this with us. So I want you to just kind of close your eyes for a minute, Tammy, and anybody else who wants to do this. And I want you to visualize the little kid inside of you. And I want you to ask her, what are you afraid is going to happen? I know you're afraid that somebody is going to yell at you, but what is the worst case scenario that you're afraid is going to happen if you speak your voice?
I think it's that they won't love me because they won't. Yeah.
Right. Right. So that is always the ultimate, is we're afraid somebody's not going to love us. Okay.
Like I'll feel unworthy and unloved.
Exactly. So I want you to do something else. So think of a scenario in particular with your husband that you've wanted to say something, okay, but you didn't. Can you think of a scenario?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want you to visualize your husband in front of you. And I want you to visualize his little inner child standing next to him, holding his hand. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want you to ask that little boy, what is the gift I'm going to give you by speaking up on this particular topic? And then tell me whatever you come up with.
I don't know. This is what came to me. It's probably not it, like not having to have his own way. I don't know.
Say that one more time. You're breaking up. Say that one more time.
Not having to have his own way.
So are you saying that that's what he needs to learn?
Yes. So that's what came to me. I don't know.
Okay, so listen to this. So if your husband has had this thing about I have to have it my way, that is his way that he thinks he's getting love. If you agree with me, if you do it my way, then you must love me, right? So that's his way of, you understand what I'm saying, that he thinks he's getting love, right? But what if by you standing in your truth and he learned that he didn't always have to have his own way, but you could still love him? Do you understand how freeing that would be for him? If he actually got emotionally mature enough to say, you know what, even if she disagrees with me, even if she wants it her way, it's okay because we still love each other. For him, his safety is when he has it his way.
Mm-hmm. When he
Right?
has control over things and his way. Yes. Uh-huh.
Right. That's his safety net. So, and his thought is that when you do it my way, it's safe. You love me. You're doing exactly what I want you to do. Right. But when you say, you know what, I'd like to share my thoughts with you and tell you how I'm feeling about it. And if he balks, and you can look at him and say, you know what, just because we have a difference of opinion and we want to do it differently doesn't mean I don't love you. If anything, I'm going to love you more when you can hear my point of view as well, because now there's a give and take. But understand that it's his woundedness that is acting that way, and it's wanting him to stay safe. I mean, don't you have places in your life, Tammy, where you don't want to expand and you don't want to grow because it feels safer to play small?
Sure.
I mean, we all have that, right? And doesn't it feel good that when a girlfriend calls you on your crap and says, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden you listen, you go, oh yeah. Or you come here and you listen to someone like me or, whatever. And then you expand and grow. Don't you feel better?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you rather give your husband that gift? I mean, wouldn't you rather give him that gift so that he has this same opportunity to grow? See, men don't do this very much. They don't have the opportunity to grow with their buddies because they're not talking about this stuff. And we, the women, are the leaders. I mean, my late husband used to say to me, because I started doing this, and it was scary, right? You're rocking the boat when all of a sudden you start making changes. But when he saw that by giving myself a voice, I became more loving. And then I could really see him and his pain and love him through it, that he started calling me the grounding cord for the family. He would come in daily and just after work and just hold me and say, thank you. I just needed to feel this. And so I was mirroring to him the love that he needed to receive. And I'm so glad I gave him that gift before he died. So imagine, wouldn't you rather give your husband a gift to help him grow emotionally? And it's not just about growing emotionally, it's about growing into alignment with who he is. And so every time you, instead of being that little girl, because what's happening is when you go in fear and think he's going to get mad at me, the little girl inside of you is taking over and you have left the room. So if you can just visualize picking little Tammy up and say, I got you here. I love you. We're going to say this. And no matter how he reacts, we're going to know it's not about us. That's the little boy inside of him throwing a temper tantrum, trying to stay safe. So now, it's like when two people battle, they're like this. But if you're coming from this higher perspective of, I am being a woman leader of love. I'm being a pioneer of change for my husband and my family. He wants to battle. If you're not down here battling with him, there's nothing to battle with. He can't fight you on it. He can throw a temper tantrum. His little inner child can say, no, 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 no. But if you're here knowing that you're giving him a gift, you've got to think of it as, when I stand in my truth, I'm giving you a big pink box with a bow on top. Okay. And so what you just learned a second ago is that you're giving him a box that says, it's okay. You don't always have to have your own way, and you can still experience love. You don't have to control the world like this. That's a huge gift. That's giving you freedom. So does that answer your question?
Yes. So I guess, this may be my fear, but it's probably some reality too, is he may not appreciate it. I don't know that he's gonna, I don't know that he's gonna like it. At some point,
He probably won't.
He may refuse to receive the gift because it's not going to feel like a gift to him. But I guess me changing my perspective is what is key.
Is key. And for you to understand that it's the little girl inside of you who is afraid because maybe in the past where she spoke up or something. And I mean, did you ever have a time when you were a child where you spoke up your feelings to your mom or your dad and they got mad at you or punished you or anything like that? Did you ever have anything like that happen?
I'm sure. Yes, absolutely.
Right. So the chances are you took on a belief, and I get that. I get that. When I'm looking at the back of your heart and I see this plug of energy and this guilt, where I'm not supposed to rock the boat. I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to do that. And so what happens is if you're carrying that belief and you do say something, then because you're coming from a space of guilt, it's going to feel like guilt coming. It's going to feel like punishment coming back at you. So the more you can give your inner child permission to think of yourself as, I am being a woman leader of love for my family. This man that I love is hurting. He is playing so small and in his safety net. And I wonder what he would feel like if he felt totally free, if he could be free so that he didn't have to control everything. Wow, that would be amazing for him. Okay, I think we just lost her again. So that's where we want to go, you guys. We really want to go to this place of, I am a woman leader of love. And that means I scoop up my little inner child, ask her what she's afraid of, look at the belief as to what is lingering from childhood, and know that that belief is not the truth. And as that I become my own authority, when I get in alignment, then that love is going to be mirrored back to me. And he may balk at first, but he's just going to be showing her guilt. And that's what she has to do, is clean up the guilt. Let me see if he's come back yet.
So how do I get rid of that guilt and that punishment energy? That is definitely the guilt runs on a regular basis. That kind of is the stopping.
Right.
The guilt comes welling up before, during, and after, probably.
Right. And so the guilt is, it feels like it's probably coming from what you saw as your parents, because we watch our parents doing stuff. And who of your parents suppressed their voice? Did I lose her again? Poor thing. We're going to end up taking another question because this is getting too hard going back and forth.
Okay.
Are you there, Tammy?
No problem.
No, Tammy, are you there?
Yeah. No.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I am. Mhm.
So who of your parents did suppress their voice?
My mother.
Okay. So what we tend to do is we tend to watch a particular parent and we take on their energy. So do you feel that your mom and dad had a dynamic, passionate, authentic, healthy relationship?
That would be probably saying it too strongly. Yes.
You feel like they did or didn't?
No.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you want to create the same kind of relationship?
No, I would prefer one where there's more, more people listen to each other a little better, more give and take.
So you took on your mom and dad's energy, or your mother's energy in particular. And so you've made that the way to be. We watch this, we get our mind programmed that this is the way to be. And so when we deviate, we feel guilty. Okay. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to do that. Good girls don't do that. But in reality, what if your mother had deviated and said, I'm going to change it up? And you watched her learn, you wouldn't be dealing with this now. Did you hear me, what I said?
Yes, that you said if she had been able to do it differently and I had watched and learned, then I would be doing it differently.
Exactly. Exactly. That's where you let go of the guilt. Okay. You got to think about your children. When I used to feel guilty about making change, it was like, wait, do I want my children growing up and feeling angry like I have felt? No, I don't. So it's so beautiful to see where it was so scary to rock the boat, but to see my kids now who are 28 and 30, and my 30-year-old has her own baby, she's married, the other one has a great relationship. They both have great relationships. And I see them being authentic and real and not suppressing themselves in their relationships. And I am so grateful I broke the cycle because they're thriving in their relationships. That's what a tremendous gift. So if we can do that and get out of our guilt because we think that the old way was right, no, if it had been right, you probably wouldn't be suffering right now because you would have watched a healthy relationship. So I hope that helps. Tammy, did you get all that?
Yeah, I did. Thank you. That's great. And I can watch the replay.
Yeah, please do, because it really is, just because our parents did it did not make it right. So we women right now are here to break the cycle. That's what we're doing. Women leaders of love, we're here to break the family cycle. Because we think, oh, well, our parents did it that way, that must be love. No, that was pain and suffering. The old family way created pain and suffering. We're here to shift it for our families. And so that's what you're doing. And just get grounded in that. Say, I am being a pioneer for my family. I'm being a woman leader of love because the old way wasn't working. That's not love when it perpetuates a cycle of pain and suffering. You're suffering because your mother didn't shift. You didn't get to watch her, okay? She did what she could do. Now you're going to do it differently for your kids. That's the gift. Make your children your catalyst. That's what happened for me. It wasn't even my partner, my catalyst. It was my kids. I'm like, I am breaking the cycle that has been handed down through the generations with my family. I am breaking the cycle. So that's where you have to get so grounded. And that's where you get rid of the guilt. When you're feeling the guilt, you look at that little girl inside of you and you say, we're not doing guilt anymore. We're doing love. We're not doing punishment anymore, because every time you let yourself be a doormat, you are saying, I deserve punishment. And you're showing your children that this is love so that they can grow up and experience the punishment too. I don't think you want that for your kids. No, right? So that's how you get rid of the guilt, girl. Make your children your catalyst. Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, so Cindy, you want to, so if you will mute yourself, Tammy, And Cindy, I'm assuming you're still on here. Did you raise your hand? If you don't know how to raise your hand and you're still here, you can just unmute yourself. I see you over here, Cindy, and you can.
I unmuted.
Yay! Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
I'm just
good.
right up the road from, or right down the road from you.
You're here in North Georgia?
I'm in Cleveland.
Oh, wow. Well, nice to meet you. Good to
And I have a good friend who's a friend of yours, but we can get into that later.
Okay.
I'm doing Your Year of Miracles with Marcy Shamoff and Dr. Sue Morter.
Good.
And I also got interested in Sonia Riccati. I think I must just really be in a place where I'm really desperate to make some changes, because I've wanted to for years.
Yeah.
Just
good.
never took the steps. But the big thing that I'm struggling with is actually being able to feel and be immersed in the energy process. Like Dr. Sue has this deep channel breathing,
Mhm.
deep center channel breathing or something, and your energy talk and work. And I really believe in the energy, but I have a hard time visualizing what's going on, or that I'm actually being able to do it. And I had shock treatments as a 23-year-old. And I'm wondering if there's some kind of a disconnect there because of that.
I see more of the disconnect right here, Tammy. It's like you're not letting it in.
Okay.
It feels like there is a plug of energy. So here, our crown chakra is where we connect to the divine, where we connect to that beautiful, loving energy. We open up to receive. That's why I teach so much about worthiness and have my worthiness quotient courses, so we can open up and receive. And it feels like to me, when I looked at your energy, it was like, oh, there's a little plug of energy right here. So let me ask you this. Is there any part of you that has a little bit of fear about energy?
Probably. I wouldn't know how to put my finger on it. And another thing is that I don't have a whole lot of childhood memories. It seems like the memories that I do have are centered around photographs or things that I've been told.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I didn't have a traumatic childhood, but it could have been, I guess, something small that made a big impression on me. I don't know. I wasn't abused. Now, I
So,
was emotionally abused in my former marriage, and I lost my first baby when she was less than 2 days old.
you have a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. And usually in childhood, if we don't remember, we're disassociating. And it doesn't mean that something horrible happened. It could have just been that your family didn't feel really safe. It didn't, maybe you didn't have permission to be fully who you are. Maybe you felt like you had to play by rules too much. I mean, there could be so many things that go on there. This feels more like, were you raised in the church?
In and out.
Okay. Because a lot of times, and I have a strong faith in Christ. I have a strong faith in Mother Mary and my guides and everything, but I'm not involved in the church. And I'm not knocking the church, but some churches will demonize energy and connecting in that way. They'll say no, that's of the devil. And even if you don't believe it consciously, I know you don't believe that consciously because you wouldn't be here if you did, but subconsciously there may be something in there that says, no, this is bad. I remember when I was teaching my Enlightened Mom workshops years ago, and I first moved to Florida from Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, people were pretty open. And then I go to Florida and I'm teaching this, and I start just bringing, like today, start bringing in light, and people were wigged out about it. They were really wigged out. And I found out afterwards through one of the women who wasn't, she said, they're very concerned that you're working with some dark energy. I was like, whoa, well, they were at least aware of that. So can we do a little exercise with you? And for anyone else who feels like I can't feel it, the other thing I do want to say too is we all have a different way of experiencing energy. Some of us are more clairsentient, which we're going to feel. Some of us are more clairvoyant, which we're going to see. Some of us are more claircognizant, which we're going to just have a knowingness. We may not feel anything. And some of us are more clairaudient, which will actually hear messages. And then, we might have one that's more prevalent, and then we might have all of them a little bit. Okay. So I just want you to not get into judgment about, well, I can't see and I can't do this, because that may not be the way you were created. Okay. So it's about tapping in to what is right for you. What is your unique way of experiencing this? So, but will you do a little exercise with me for a second?
I'd be glad to.
Okay. And anyone else, again, you're watching this, you can just do it with us if you find that you have some of this going on in your life. So Tammy, I just want you to close your eyes. I mean, not Tammy. Why I called you Tammy? Cindy. Got the Tammy. Cindy, I'm so sorry. So Cindy, I want you to just close your eyes, and I want you to imagine little Cindy coming up on your lap, whether you can see her or not. Just know that she is there. Okay. And I want you to ask her, and she's the voice of your subconscious mind, okay, not your conscious mind. I want you to just ask her, is there anything that scares you about opening up, about receiving divine guidance, or just opening up to receive like that?
The only thing that is there is an experience. You talked about the church. When I was probably either an adolescent, but a real young teenager, I went with my sister and brother-in-law to church and was saved.
Mhm.
And we were sitting at a restaurant afterwards, and they were asking me why I didn't seem more excited. And I remember saying, well, I don't want to go to heaven if mom and daddy are going to go to hell. And the only reason that I guess I would have thought they might be going is because we weren't actively going to church. I was going with my sister and brother-in-law, and my daddy cussed. Well, I see that a whole lot differently now. But
Right.
but they tried to explain to me that probably wasn't the case, and that, even if it was, when you get to heaven, you're not going to have a memory of the people that aren't there. But that I really don't feel like I wouldn't have consciously said that was an issue that I had.
So just ask her for a second, though. Go back to that place and ask her, was there a belief you took on that is blocking you from connecting? A belief, a simple belief that you don't even know is there. Is there a belief? And one of the things I want to ask you to do while you're asking this question is visualize opening up your crown of your head, just like it's opening up to that higher guidance, to your higher self. Okay, cool. So I'm going to dive into what I see. Okay. So I see this darkness, right? So can I do a little bit of energy work on you and see if I can pull it out?
Please.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm asking the angels and my guides. I'm actually asking Christ is who's coming through right now, and feeling his presence, and Mother Mary's and Michael, and your guides are here as well. And so we're going to lift this energy from the crown of your head. And anyone else who is listening and participating, if this is something that resonates for you, you can allow this to happen for you too. It doesn't have to be specific. So we're going to lift this out. And what I'm seeing is a contract, and it's got all kinds of garbage on it. I'm seeing spiders, I'm seeing green sludge. I mean, it was like lots of spiders. And spiders are usually fears. They can be a lot of interesting stuff. So let me just pull it out and have them pull it out and clear it. Okay, so let's see what this says. Okay, this is interesting. This is totally about self-suppression. And let me tell you what I saw. You can open up your eyes. So I opened up this contract and it looked like a piece of parchment. But when I opened it up, also all this stuff comes out of your body. Okay. There's spiders, and all of a sudden this light from down low is shooting up. Right. And I'm looking here at this contract. I'm sitting here looking at it like I'm looking at the contract. And when I unrolled it, it was this playful, exuberant, fun, crazy aspect of you that has been suppressed. Okay. And that's hitting home, isn't it? I can see it in your face. It has been suppressed. For whatever reasons, you suppressed it. But for you, this is what I'm getting. Oh, I'm getting chills too. For you, this energy stuff is play. Okay. It's play. It's joy. It's connection. It's miracles. It's all of that. And it was like when you suppress that play part of you, it's almost like you had to suppress this, because then it would give you permission to be in that play, right? So there's been this part of you that has felt like it's not okay to play. It's not okay to explore and expand. There's been that part of you. So that's why I was asking about the church. Did it come from the church? It doesn't matter where it came from. It's what I'm seeing is that it has been this self-inflicted suppression because this is what you thought you had to do. But this is what happens a lot of times when people work with me, is that we'll look at, this is the block, and then they have a big shift because it's the energy of that's, keeping you. It's like they're ready to make a shift. So I want you to imagine, close your eyes again, and I want you to imagine the part of you that is so much fun and is into energy and is into exploring and into playfulness and into feeling and seeing and whatever it is that she is. I want you to imagine her standing in front of you. And when you see her, what do you see?
Smile.
Yeah. She dancing around a little bit.
Yes.
She's doing a jig.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to feel a lot of joy
Yeah. Has
in
he
a
been
long
suppressing it?
time, except over big events like birth of a grandchild or something like that.
That's what this is.
But everyday joy.
Mhm. Yeah. But your parents didn't have a lot of joy, did they?
Yeah, they did.
You think so?
But there was, well, no, my mom didn't, especially the last several years of her life, especially after my dad died.
But
They had a great relationship, but like we didn't do a whole lot, together as a family. Like we didn't hike, we didn't.
So it doesn't sound like there was a lot of playfulness.
Right.
That's what this is.
And I think I also felt like, because my sister supposedly had to get married when she was 16, which ended up that she wasn't pregnant at all. But anyway, because she quit school and got married, and that I had to be perfect. I had to do it all right.
There's your message. You have to be perfect. So do you think that perfectionism is working for you?
No.
When you just saw that part of you that was joyful and playful, it's not perfect, but it felt good, didn't it? And don't you think that that's what you're here to do? To expand and be playful and joyful? Don't you think our world needs that more than anything right now, more than perfection?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to invite you right now, because when I get a sense of your parents, they look like they had a loving relationship But I just don't get that. And it may have not been them. It just maybe that you took it on, but yet for some reason in your family, maybe just because of what you said about your sister, you didn't have a lot of permission to be playful. There's not a lot of permission. And the question is are you ready to let that come in? And it may not have anything to do with your parents. I mean, I was hard on myself. I was like a straight A student. My parents never said you have to be a straight A student. I did it to myself. Right?
Well, I felt like I got approval when I made honor roll or this, that, and the other.
Absolutely. It was all about seeking love outside of ourselves. And then we suppress our joy. We suppress our playfulness because we're being so good. So I want to invite you right now to go back to that place where you're closing your eyes and you see this part of you. And are you willing right now to accept this part of you and say yes to it?
Yes.
I want you to feel her merging into you. And I want you to feel every cell of your body awakening. I want you to feel your energy field expanding with joy. And I want you right now, what I'm seeing is to release all the guilt for not being perfect, all the guilt for wanting to be joyful and playful. I want you to let all of it go. Just drain it down. Let it go down out of your feet, out of your hands, go all the way underneath you, down to the center of the earth. We're just going to send it back to the earth with love. And I want you to look at that little girl inside of you right now. And I want you to say to her, I give you permission to be as joyful as you want to be.
I give you permission to be joyful.
Yes. And to be playful. To let your light shine. No more suppression. I want you to feel this energy inside of your being just expanding and expanding, and feel as if this moment right now, this joyful moment of going yes, is turning up. You're turning up the knob to like 100% of feeling the vibration. You're going yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And feel that, okay? Because let me tell you, every person in your life needs to see this. Everybody's craving joy. Everybody's craving playfulness, because that's when we're most in alignment with truth, right? I mean, if you even look at it biblically, it says, be like children, or however the wording is, like, it's like, be like a child, and a child is playful, hopefully, right? And, be in that childlike wonder. That's so beautiful. So do you have any questions about this? Does it make sense?
It does mostly.
Is there anything that doesn't make sense? So I can answer a question if you have a question around it.
It's making more intellectual sense than feeling sense.
Right. So let me see if I can get some guidance for you on how to get more into the feeling sense. So I want to, encourage you to start paying attention. Like if you're watching a TV show and it makes you laugh, check in with your feelings. How do I feel right now? I want you to get connected to your feelings. Okay. If you're feeling sad, acknowledge I'm feeling sad. If you feel it in your body, I want you to go into awareness of that, because when you disassociate, like you did a lot from your childhood, you said, and then you've been suppressing the joy, you kind of disassociate from the feeling of the body, right? So I want you to get into the feeling of the body. If you go take a walk out in these beautiful mountains that we live in, feel your body. How does it feel as you're breathing in, feeling the expansion? Like when I'm walking in the mountains, I will literally feel my cells opening up and connecting to the oneness with the trees, to the earth. And oh my gosh, it'll bring me to tears sometimes. Okay. I did not used to do that. I was a person who did not allow myself to feel, because I thought it was, stronger to not feel. So this has been training for me. Right. And so what I want to encourage you is just to go into awareness and don't shut anything down. Okay. Because when we shut down our feelings, the bad ones, we also shut down our joy. If you shut down everything, you shut down everything, right?
Mhm.
So you got to have the good with the bad. So allow yourself to go there. And then, do you have my grounding meditation?
I don't think so.
So you go to terribritt.com. Anybody can go. It's free. Terribritt.com. It's TERRIBRITT.com/grounding, GROUNDING. And it's free. When you do it, give yourself permission to just listen, because that's going to take you deeper into a meditative state when somebody's guiding you. And just listen and feel your body. Just go through the process of feeling, because it's all about receiving. It opens up like, I give myself, I forget how the wording is, but yes, God, I receive your love. So imagining the whole universe is this loving energy of God, and it's pouring and surrounding you with love. Start doing that. And what I recommend people is doing it on a daily basis, because then what happens is it's almost like that plaque that's inside the arteries and the cells starts breaking away. It's about being committed to saying, I'm not grasping, I'm allowing, but I'm just going to sit in this energy regularly. And you're doing stuff already, but this is just about being in a receptive space. That's what my stuff is. It's all about getting into a receptive space. Does that help? So
Yes.
try that, okay?
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. If you'll mute yourself, that'd be great.
Okay, thanks.
So Tammy said, oh, thanks so much. That was very valuable. Good. Yay, Tammy. That she said she liked that. And then Sydney says, by doing the spiritual exercises consistently, we are opening up the channels to allow the flow of divine energy and the energy from Mother Earth. And this way, the construction of these channels inside our body are dissolving. Yes. Or constrictions. Yes. That's exactly what I was just saying, Sydney, that the more she does it, the more she's going to open up the channels, the more she's going to allow the light in. So Sydney, you had already asked too, it'd be great to find more solutions to fight the tyranny of the shoulds. Well, the way I look at the shoulds, and then we're going to wrap this up, is they're the good girl rules. Okay. And what I've really come to understand, and in my Women Leaders of Love book, I talk about this more, the ebook that you can get for free if you don't have it already. It's just terribritt.com/leaders. Is that we equate good as being loving. But as we already know, just sitting here and we see the pain that so many of us have experienced because we played by those good girl rules, it's not loving. If it's causing you pain and suffering, it's disconnecting you from who you are and the way you were created. And so for me, it's disconnecting from God, because if I'm honoring and loving the way I was created, I'm honoring God. And in that connection is where my joy is. That's where my peace is. Every time I say I should do this, I take myself away from that connection and move over here. There's pain and suffering. And in my pain and suffering, I then take it out on the people around me. Even if I'm not lashing out, if I'm depressed or sad, they feel it. Okay. Even if they don't even know they're feeling it, they're feeling the vibration. So every time we go into the shoulds, we create a disconnect, we create pain and suffering. Every time we recognize that we're going into the shoulds and we say, no, I don't do punishment anymore, I do love, and we stay over here in alignment, which is called what I call a high worthiness quotient. Now we're in a high vibration, we're in a loving space to ourselves, and we open up to attract positive things, but we're also, because now we're feeling more peaceful, because we start seeing things show up that we need to be supported. We start feeling more joyful. We start feeling like we don't have to be so crazed around life. And now we meet people around us with more compassion, forgiveness, and love. And that is our greatest act of service, is to be that. So the shoulds are going to take you out of your service. They're going to take you out of being love, and they're going to put you in pain and suffering. So I don't think there's any better way to understand it than that. The shoulds are punishment. Loving yourself is love. So I hope that is pretty clear and concise, Sydney. I hope that makes sense. Let me see what else. Sydney, that's so funny. Thou shalt not should thyself, should on thyself. Thou shalt not should on thyself. That's hysterical. So does anyone else have a thought to say? Anything else? So just quickly, I want to, because we changed it up today. Normally we do a deep meditation and we don't get to go deeper into the healing and the conversations. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you liked it this way today and you think this is good because then we can, go deeper, would you put a 10? If you say, if it doesn't matter, you can say it doesn't matter. If you feel like, no, I like the other way better, you can write that. But just everybody write in the comments. So Sydney says 10, you liked it this way, opening up for questions. Good. Because I'm really thinking about doing it because I have a divine level that we meet twice a month, and you guys can check it out if you want. I think the first month's like $19.95, and then after that it's like $34 a month. But it's a small group and we do deep meditation. We're not on camera. It's twice a month, the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month. And we really go in and expand. We go deeper into meditation. We do a lot of expansive stuff, really getting into even more energy stuff. And I think, for me, I would like to change it up if it works for you guys. Okay. So good. I'm getting it. So good. So I'm getting 10s here. And Cindy said, this is my first time, but I liked it, of course. So I think we're probably, Yvonne says both ways. If you guys want to try the divine level, that's on the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month. You can go to terribritt.com / healings. You can see it on my menu bar at terribritt.com, and you'll see healings, and it'll drop down and there's a whole page and that says divine level, and you can check that out if you want to know more. Okay, cool. Cindy wrote, thank you. So it sounds like you guys like this. So I think we may try this for a little while and see how it goes, because I really love doing it this way. And because I feel like, you get something out of it by listening to someone else to ask their questions. Maybe it's a question you haven't even thought to ask. And so we get a little bit of flavor from everyone. And then you can do the healing as well if it rings true for you. And I don't know, I just love this. I've done speaking engagements where they'll have microphones on and people will come up and ask questions, and and I'll do energy and stuff like that. And it's so much fun because everybody gets stuff from it. So I thought it might be fun to do it this way. All right, guys, well, let's wrap it up with a little mini visualization for the day. So I want to invite you right now to just close your eyes and take a breath and release. Take another deep breath and release. As we sit in this space of healing and light, I want us to just take a moment. There's so much turmoil going on in the world, and I want to invite us each to just send some light to our brothers and sisters in the Ukraine and as well as in Russia, because they're not being fed the truth, and people are going to be hurt and die. So let's send some love to those families and just say thank you, that the highest good might be revealed and that there's light and love that floods into those regions so that peace can come about. And I want you to imagine that as we're sending that love, how the world would be if each of us were doing the work that you guys are doing here right now. If each person was owning their worth and feeling the love and the abundance of the universe, there would be no need to take land and push borders. There would be none of that, because we would embrace each other and know that there's enough. So let's just hold that energy and that vibration right now, sending that love to each other, to ourselves, and to these people. And then we can expand it around the planet right now, as there's a lot of suffering going on. So imagine our hearts just opening up and sending that love and light to our world. Breathing in, letting it go. And when you're ready, you can come back into this space. All righty then, guys. So, Cindy, you look like you were talking to somebody. Thank you guys so much. We will be back here same time, same place next week. I'm heading to Florida tomorrow to take care of my grandbaby. So I'm going to have a fun weekend, and I hope you guys do too. So have a great one, and I'll see you then. And make sure you invite your friends, guys. This is a conversation that we all need to be sharing, and inviting our women friends in to really take a stand, because this is the time. We are really being needed right now. So sending you love. Bye-bye, everybody.